Welcome to another edition of USHL In Focus. Joining us today is Jim Olander, the President and CEO of the Sioux Falls Stampede Joint. Thanks for joining us today, Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Big weekend in Sioux Falls. The Stampede home opener is Saturday against Waterloo. And of course, it's the 25th anniversary celebration. Tell us what's happening surrounding that event, Jim.
Yeah, well, we're really excited. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're here at year 25 in Sioux Falls, and it's gone quickly. But we're really excited about the season getting going and celebrating 25 years. And we've got a lot of different things planned for our fans. We're doing, starting at 3:30 on Saturday, we're gonna have inflatables and games for kids right across from the Premier Center, and then starting at 4 o'clock, the man of the night, Mr. Thomas Vanek, he's going to be back with us. He's going to be available for a meet and greet inside the convention center. So our fans are going to get a chance to say hi to Thomas and get a picture if they'd like. And then at 5 o'clock, our doors are going to open to the building, and we've got the first 1,000 kids 14 and under are going to get actually a Stampede replica jersey. And we couldn't have a Thomas Vanek night without making the jerseys number 19 and Vanek. So everybody will get a Vanek jersey that they can take home with them. And then really in the concourse, we've got all kinds of fun things. We're going to have games. We've got balloon animals. We've got a photo booth. We've got a scavenger hunt. We've got all this stuff for families. And then starting at 5:45, we're going to start our ceremony with Thomas Vanek and retiring his number. So that's going to be really a special moment. I know he's excited. I think it might be the first time he's been back to Sioux Falls since his playing days. Obviously, he's been busy playing up until the last couple of years. So, but he'll be the first ever player that we've retired a number for, and deservingly so. He all-time leading scorer, set all kinds of records in the USHL and with the Stampede, and obviously went on to a pretty impressive NHL career. So we'll be doing a ceremony with him, and then we'll be introducing our entire team at the game, and then dropping the puck and getting ready to battle. So a lot of stuff leading up to the actual game, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun for our fans.
Well, Thomas Vanek, certainly not the only luminary from the Stampede, the history of development with the franchise, Jim, and you've been along for the ride with your over 2 decades of work there. But, besides Thomas Vanek, obviously Kiefer Bellows, Jack Connolly, Cole Sillinger, one of my favorites, CJ Franklin. And you've worn many hats and seen a lot of stuff, and you can draw on your history from started off amazingly as the play-by-play guy, something you continue to do. I don't know how many organizational CEOs still do that, but what stands out about your experience with the Stampede?
I think, looking back, it's just been a great experience. And I was just telling someone the other day, when I came to Sioux Falls, I had aspirations to be a big time broadcaster, and thought, I'll be here for 2 years. And here I am going into year 21. And, obviously my role has grown, but it's really been about the people of Sioux Falls, the players, the organization. It's just, it's hard to leave a place that, is so special to so many people. And I think for our players, we've had so many amazing players come through. You mentioned, so many of them that have played special parts in Sioux Falls. And to me, what really amazes me to this date is what Sioux Falls meant to those players, and still means to those players. I mean, I can text some of them still that I have numbers of, and ask them to do an interview, or ask them, and they'll they do anything for Sioux Falls. And so many of them have told me, like, hey, I played 10 years in the NHL, and best time of my life was playing with the Sioux Falls Stampede. So I think it's special to see these players. And we've had a number of them actually even move back to Sioux Falls. A couple of them have, gotten married to girls that lived in Sioux Falls, and they've come back. I mean, it's pretty cool to see that and how much it's grown, and our fan base, how much that's grown over 25 years from, I'm old, but not old enough to be here the first year. But I was told that, the first season, people were cheering for offsides and icing, and people were leaving after the second period because they thought the game was over, and nobody knew anything about hockey. And we've gone from that to, being a hockey hotbed where we have over 800 kids in Sioux Falls youth hockey now, and, a Division I program starting. It's been great to see how much the sport has grown here in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, a couple things there that you mentioned were the the growth in hockey in Sioux Falls. Walker Dewar, of course, didn't play for
Yeah.
the Stampede, but he was developed in Sioux Falls, a kid from Sioux Falls that made his NHL debut with Calgary Flames. Um, and there's more kids like that, and the relationship that the Stampede have with the community and the role that's played in growth in hockey in that market. Uh, a couple things I would mention is reflected in the attendance there, that you've had averaging nearly 5,000 people a game in that building. The gorgeous facility you have there in Sioux Falls at Stampede play, and the Stampede usually competitive year after year, winning 3 Clark championships along the way. But talk about the game experience part of it. I think that's a pretty important component, obviously. And Jim, are you the one that came up with the wiener dog promotion? Those races that you have over there in the rink?
Yeah, that was my first step into big marketing. Yeah, and I would have never imagined it would be what it is today. But it's been awesome, and yeah, I mean, the fan support we have in Sioux Falls is unbelievable. And we do, we try to give back to the community. That's a big part of our thing. We have our players, 2 times a week going out during the season and helping around the community and giving back because our community gives so much to us. And the attendance is impressive. We've worked really hard to build a strong base. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, we got to have people that want to come to games, and people have. And I think, my philosophy has been, and our team philosophy has always been, like, we just want, we're a family fun entertainment business, and hockey is important, and we want to win hockey games. But we want to have stuff for everybody. And I just rambled on, for minutes about all the stuff we have on Saturday. Well, there's a reason we do all that. We want people from the moment they come into the building to the moment they leave to have fun. And whether you're a diehard hockey fan, you're going to have a blast, or it's your first game. There's going to be so many different things happening that you're going to have a fun time. And I think if you're not a big hockey fan, it's the other things that you sit down, you get to watch the game. You're coming back. That's how we've really grown our fan base is once people come and watch the game in person, you're hooked and you're coming back.
And then on the hockey side, Jim, you've had an opportunity to work with a number of outstanding coaches and GMs there with the Stampede. I mean, is it the cradles of coaches? You look at the names with Motzko, and of course, Tony Gasparini was a coach. He's back now as your GM, but Mark Kaufman, a guy I know quite well, Kevin Hartzell, Kerry Eads, Scott Owens, Marty Murray, and now Eric Rudd. Talk about your experience in working with that group of gentlemen.
We've been really fortunate. They're all great guys, great individuals that care about winning games and are great teachers of the game. But also, understand the big picture of it and have been very much, we talk about community, have been very backing of community efforts and getting players involved and really the whole, looking at it as the whole junior experience of, yes, we want to develop players, and yes, we're trying to get to the next level, but they're also growing while they're here and they're learning things and being part of the community, getting part-time jobs, handling a busy, hectic schedule that's going to get them ready, not only for college and potentially the pros, but, for life in general. They're learning these life skills that are going to help them get to that next level, whether it is playing hockey or whether it's a career outside of sports. And all of our coaches have just been tremendous. We've been really fortunate. The knowledge that they have and the way that they're able to work with kids. And I think one thing that's been consistent with all our coaches is all the names you mentioned. I mean, all those guys have worked at the pro level at some sort or college or different levels, but they really enjoy the junior level because there's so much teaching going on, and there's so much one-on-one with the players that you really are able to make a difference, because these are the big years for them as far as growing and getting to that next level, where they're not quite as polished yet, but you can see the potential, and you're really helping them, polish their game and be ready to go to that next level. So that's been fun to see too.
Stampede are 3 games into it, 2-0-1-0. Jim, what do you think about your squad so far this year?
Well, we like our team. I mean, it's obviously early, and there's a lot of good teams out there. One thing's for sure that we know from all of the years in the USHL is anybody can beat anybody. But we've got a really strong defensive core. We have 3 defensemen back from last year, which the year before I think we had 1, and 3 from last year, and we have another a player that has USHL experience. So really, we have 4 guys back. We have solid goaltending right now. We have 3 goalies on our roster. All 3 of them can play on a consistent basis and could be a number 1 goaltender, on other teams. And then up front, we've got some great returners. We've got, Beckett Hendrickson's a name that is new, that played with the development program, is from Minnesota. Obviously, his dad is Darby Hendrickson, so he's got great bloodlines. And he was our first round pick, and a guy that has already started to mold into to an impressive player. And you've got Jackson Panzer, you've got other guys that we have that are returning. Chris Pelosi, who joined us last year and really made a difference. We've got guys that can score, and I think up front we've got a lot of balance, which is great. We don't maybe have that one line right now that's just going to go out there and dominate, but I don't think that's a bad thing either. I've been with championship teams that the more balanced you are with your lines, the more dangerous you are, just because teams can't just focus on 1 or 2 players or 1 or 2 lines. Everybody's dangerous. So it's just a matter of, I think right now, molding guys together. We need to kind of figure out who can work together. But we've definitely got a lot of talent, and I think our fans are going to be excited with the product they're going to see this year. And, Tony Gasparini and Coach Root have done an amazing job, and, getting things turned around in a short amount of time, and building this team back up to where we want to be. And that's being competitive and, a playoff team each and every year. And we've certainly got the foundation now to do that.
Jimmy, thanks very much. Really appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy guy. You wear a lot of hats there for the organization, and we wish you all the best with the start of the home season this weekend.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate the time as well. Looking forward to Saturday night.